talk about my favorite NBA betting pick today. So we've got a selection of games going on in the league today, but this is one that sticks out to me in particular for a couple of reasons. One of my many jobs in the sports betting industry is to come up with daily NBA betting picks. I'm hitting better than 60% against the spread so far this season, and I'm 1-0 on the channel, so hopefully we can continue the hot streak. The game that I want to talk about today is the Dallas Mavericks hosting the Memphis Grizzlies. Now this is an interesting matchup because, well, we've got Luka Doncic and Kyrie Irving both coming into form on one side, while Ja Morant is out for the season, has a torn labrum, will undergo season-ending surgery, obviously not going to be playing in this game for Memphis. The Grizzlies started the year 6-19 without Ja, then they went 7-3 with him, and now they're gonna be without him for the next 50-odd games. Looking at Memphis's numbers, they're not impressive. They're 25th in overall net rating. Granted, they do have one of the 10 best defenses. They're 9th in field goal percentage allowed, 10th in defensive rating, but they have the lowest offensive rating in the league, and they just look really bad when Ja isn't out there on the floor. I mean, they're 23rd in assist to turnover ratio. They shoot the worst percent from three-point land, shooting just 33.9%. They're 24th in rebound rate. They just really don't do a whole lot of things well aside from guard the man in front of them. And granted, defense is a huge part of the game. I'm not taking that away, but we also know that this is an offensive league. I mean, we've got like 10 of the 12 highest offensive ratings ever seen before. And when you're going against a backcourt that's as explosive as Luka and Kyrie, that's going to present some problems if you can't also get buckets of your own. So to summarize, Memphis doesn't shoot the ball well. They don't have any sort of rim pressure without Ja. They're down their best scorer. They don't rebound. It's just not great. If you're looking for someone to step up, it undoubtedly has to be Marcus Smart. He's the veteran point guard that was brought over in that trade with the Celtics, averaging 14 points for the year, but on Sunday in a game without Ja against the Phoenix Suns, he put up 25 points, 8 assists, 6 rebounds, and 3 steals. One of his best games of the season, but he's going to have to do that fairly consistently if the Grizzlies want to remain relevant. And just quickly looking at some more numbers, Desmond Bane averaged 24.5 points and 5 assists before Ja returned to the lineup. Jaren Jackson Jr. averaged 21.5 points and 6 rebounds, again before Ja came back to the action. You've got to be looking at those two as the top 2 scoring options now that Ja will be out again. But on the other side, the Mavericks are starting to get things rolling. They won 4 out of their last 5 games. They won 3 in a row. They just beat the Minnesota Timberwolves in a game where Luka and Kyrie combined to score 69 points, dish out 13 assists, grab 14 rebounds, and make 11 threes on 55% shooting from beyond the arc. These two are one of the most devastating, if not the most devastating pairs in the entire league when they're at their best. Now, Kyrie has been injured a little bit, and sometimes last year they didn't really work well together, but so far this season, when they've been on the court together, they have been exceptional. The Mavericks play at the 8th fastest pace in the league, and although they only shoot the 3 slightly above league average, they make the 2nd most threes per game, in part because of their pace, but also partly because, again, Luka and Kyrie are just so good in isolation that they can create their own shots, and if they aren't, you've got guys like Grant Williams spotting up in the corner or Tim Hardaway Jr. coming off the bounce. The Dallas defense also isn't that bad. I mean, they're 16th in defensive rating. You got a guy like Derek Lively who's already making a name for himself. Some defensive stoppers like Grant Williams and Derek Jones Jr. Luka's shown a better effort on that side of the court. They can get away with 16th best defensive rating if they have an offense like they do. And in the event that this game is close near the end, the Mavericks are 12-5 in clutch games, in part because of the improved defense, but really because we know how devastating Luka and Kyrie can be, whether it's creating their own shot or creating easy looks for teammates. They create very good offense, and that is invaluable down the stretch of close games. So it should come as no surprise that the Mavericks are 8.5 point favorites in this one, and that I like them to win. But the real question is, can Dallas cover this spread? So Dallas is 21-16 ATS this season. That's about 57%, while Memphis is 15-21 or 41%, and they're only 10-16 against the spread without Ja in the lineup. That's about 38.5%. I'm going to stick to the trends. I'm going to take the Mavericks to win and cover the 8.5 points At home, where they've been pretty good. Granted, Grizzlies have been good on the road, but at home, I like this spot for the Mavericks. They've got things clicking for them. Kyrie's healthy. They've won some games recently. The Grizzlies are starting to deal with that emotional blow of losing Ja, and I think the biggest thing for me is that when you see those explosive individual scoring runs from Kyrie or Luka or maybe even Hardaway Jr., who's going to be able to match that for the Grizzlies? It's not going to be Marcus Smart. It's not going to be Jaren Jackson Jr. There's a chance it's Desmond Bane if he's having one of his on games, but even if he is, I just don't think this Memphis offense can hang. Again, they have the worst three-point percentage in the league, the worst offensive rating in the league, and they're terrible on the glass, so they can't manufacture cheap points either. And one thing I also haven't mentioned yet is that Dallas commits the fewest turnovers per possession in the entire league. So they are taking care of the basketball extremely well while the Grizzlies are being loose with it. It's not a good matchup for the Grizzlies. I like the Mavericks -8.5 for my favorite NBA betting pick of the day. Guys, if you tuned into yesterday's video, you'll know that my college football playoff pick was an absolute disaster. And trust me, my bank account felt the effects of that. But hopefully we get back into the winning ways. We get back into the green, and we're doing it with the sport that I consider myself a real expert in, the NBA. So jump in the comments, let me know what your favorite picks for this beautiful Tuesday are. Like the video if you enjoyed, subscribe to the channel, and I will catch you all in the next one.